Good afternoon. Today I'm going to be reviewing the timeless HMS003. This watch is available from timelesswatch.ch for 1,450 Swiss francs, which is €1,536. The HMS003 is a limited edition of only 40 numbered pieces. Timeless are a well-established microbrand. They were founded in 2020 and they're based in Lausanne in Switzerland. So firstly, let's look at the box that the watch comes in, and then I'll talk you through the specifications of the piece. So the watch comes in a genuine leather travel case, which is inside this cardboard box. So I'll show it to you. Now, at this price point in the mid-tier, I am pleased to see a genuine leather travel case. This isn't made from vinyl or PU leather. 2 stainless steel poppers, and on the flap we have the Timeless logo embossed to a good standard. Flawless stitching around the perimeter. The quality of the finishing is good, no loose stitches around the perimeter, and it's got a nice grained finish in chocolate brown leather. So the interior contrasts with a nice tan tone to it, and there's a lovely scent from the genuine leather travel case. At €1,536, this is appropriate, and they deserve credit for not cutting any corners with regards to the quality of the travel case. Now, with the watch, you also get this card which details the specification of the HMS003, and as I've detailed, it is a limited edition of only 40 numbered pieces. So we have the specification, and also this details the movement used, which is the STP caliber 1-11 automatic. Now, I would like to see Timeless enhance this by adding a warranty card and also an owner's instruction manual because they're absent. However, I'm pleased to report that the HMS003 is covered by a 2-year international warranty, which is very good. So, with regards to the specifications of the piece, we have a 41.5mm case diameter. We have a lug-to-lug measurement of 47.8mm, a thickness of 13.1mm, and a lug width of 22mm. The genuine leather strap is made from calf leather, so it's very soft and supple, and there's a slight taper from 22 at the lugs down to the stainless steel deployant. And as you can see, the stainless steel deployant clasp has 2 button push triggers, and it's also signed with the Timeless logo with high definition engraving. Flawless mirror polishing to the top side, underside and flanks of the deployant, and nice firm resistance to the 2 button push triggers. No sharp edges, no burrs, and there's a nice heavy gauge to the 316L grade stainless steel deployant clasp. Now, one of my favourite aspects of this piece is the guilloche dial. The quality of the guilloche finishing to the dial is exceptional, and Timeless deserve full credit for this. This is the kind of guilloche finishing to a dial one would expect to see on a high-tier piece from a Holy Trinity brand. And when I refer to the Holy Trinity, I'm referring to Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet and Vacheron Constantin respectively. That is the quality level of the guilloche dial on this piece. Exceptional, bearing in mind it's a mid-tier piece costing €1,536, not a high-tier piece costing in excess of €10,000, but that is the level of guilloche finishing, €10,000 high-tier price point finishing. So, nice chapter ring which has a 3D effect, and it's in dark green. Now, the attention to detail with the printing of the Arabic numerals and also the rail track chapter ring on this piece is exceptional. It is high-tier level chapter ring finishing. If you look closely at the rail track chapter ring, you can see there are bubbles at the hour Arabic numerals, and inside the bubbles we have smaller Arabic numerals which are for the minutes. And the quality of the high definition printing to the rail track chapter ring and also the Arabic numerals, both the large hour Arabic numerals which are stencil font and also the smaller Arabic numerals on the chapter ring is exceptional. Crisp, high definition printing to the paint, and it really is exceptional. The Timeless logo at 12 o'clock is applied to the guilloche dial, and it is perfection. So I really like it. I think the quality of the dial has a nice 3D effect, and I love the guilloche finishing because it catches the light. It's a white dial, but it has a metallic sheen to it, almost like silver, and it just really does catch the light. Now, with regards to the crystal, double dome sapphire crystal with clear AR coating on the underside. Nice low profile to the double dome sapphire crystal, and the clarity is exceptional. The AR coating does an outstanding job of reducing the glare and the highly reflective nature of the mirror polished handset. Now, there are some gold parts to this HMS003 piece that I want you to be aware of. If you look at the handset, you can see this second hand is made from stainless steel, but the hour and minute hand are made from gold. It is exceptional. It is very unusual to see gold parts used on a mid-tier piece at this price point of €1,536. Yes, one does expect to see gold parts on a watch on a high-tier piece costing in excess of €10,000, but this is a mid-tier piece at €1,536. So the hour and minute hands are made from gold. If you look in the centre of the push-pull crown, it is also made from gold. If you look at the plaque, which is screwed onto the left-hand flank of the case, the plaque says HMS003. There are two flathead screws which screw the plaque to the flank of the case. The screws are made from gold. The lugs, which look like wire lugs, are made from stainless steel, and if you look where they join the case, there are gold collars. The gold collars aren't plated, they are made from solid gold. This is exceptional. This is the kind of finishing to lugs with gold collars one would see on a high-tier piece. This is the first time I have seen gold parts like this used on a mid-tier piece at this price point. Timeless deserve full credit for it. So we have 50 metres of hermetic seal on the push-pull crown, and also the case back is solid 316L grade stainless steel. Concentric CNC lathe tool machining to it, which refracts the light. The centre section is engraved with the emblem, as you can see, with high definition engraving, no sharp edges to it, and that emblem matches the detail on the push-pull crown, as you can see, which has a gold centre section, so good continuity of design. I like the shape of it, it's very aesthetically pleasing, and I like the continuity matching the emblem in the centre of the case back. So screw down case back provides an effective hermetic seal to 50 metres, which is perfectly acceptable for a daily wear piece. The milled slots are finished to perfection, no sharp edges, no burrs to the milled slots, and they also look very aesthetically pleasing. And the circumference of the screw down stainless steel case back is engraved with high definition engraving with the specification of the piece, and as I've detailed, each HMS003 is a limited edition numbered piece, one of 40 pieces ever made. So quality of the engraving is excellent, and it's also a nice flat profile to it. Now it does have a slight bubble back profile, it's got a slight dome to the centre, but it is nice and smooth and flat, and therefore this piece is only 13.1mm, even though it has a nice dome to the case back and also a double dome sapphire crystal. So proportions are correct. Now inside the stainless steel lugs, which are screwed into the case with the gold collars, we have conventional spring bars, so it's easy to remove the strap and fit an alternative if you want to change the strap. Let's look at the strap. Calf leather. Now this is a very thick strap, and it does have a taper. It's thicker at the lugs and tapers down to the deployants, but despite being thick, because it's high grade calf leather, it is incredibly soft and supple. This does not need any breaking in whatsoever. It is one of the softest calf leather straps I have ever experienced on a piece. And again, Timeless deserve credit, because this is the kind of quality calf leather one would expect to see on a high tier piece costing €10,000 plus. This is a mid-tier piece costing $1,536, but I can tell you this is like cordovan leather. That is the quality we're looking at. Incredibly soft and supple. It feels like a leather strap that is aged, that has been broken in with daily wear for years. That's the kind of suppleness we are looking at. Just absolutely gorgeous. Lovely scent to the genuine calf leather. Lovely tan tone to it. It's got a grained finish to it and a lovely chocolate tone on the top side. And on the underside, it's contrasting because it's lined with a lighter tan colour. Plenty of holes in it to get the perfect fit for the deployant, and it's just absolutely gorgeous finishing. There are two keepers. One is fixed and one slides, as one would expect, and the keepers are nice and wide, so they're clearly going to be durable if you use the piece daily, and I think it's very well finished. The quality of the stitching is good, and also the quality of the deployant is excellent where it meets the end of the genuine calf leather strap. So I like the use of a deployant at this price point rather than using the cost-cutting measure of a buckle and tang, because the deployant is more expensive but of course higher grade. Two button push triggers have nice firm resistance and it opens very well, nice and free. So solid 316L grade stainless steel deployant, as you can see, and the mirror polishing is flawless. Top side, underside and flanks are mirror polished. Every facet has been deburred and chamfered to a very good standard. The two triggers are heavily sprung loaded, so they feel robust and reliable. No sharp edges to the top edge or lower edge of the flanks. Let's check the hinge pins. nice and tight, but they articulate smoothly. Tolerances, quality control is good. Let's check the centre hinge pin. Nice and tight, articulates smoothly, it doesn't feel stiff or kink, but minimal play. So the refinement is there. This is high level, quality control and interference fits. Let's check the right hinge pin. Minimal play. Again, tight tolerances, so interference fit on the 3 hinge pins. Left hand hinge pin, centre hinge pin, right hand hinge pin. This is the kind of refinement one experiences on a mid-tier piece at this price point, $1,536. It is a high quality deployant clasp, and Timeless deserve credit because they could have just used a low cost buckle and tang. The deployant is good. Right, so I'll give you a wrist shots and you can see how it fits on my 8-inch wrist. Now, I've adjusted the strap, as you can see. But even on my large 8-inch wrist, there are still 2 spare holes, so I could actually extend the deployant. This will fit a larger wrist, but with it on a size for 8-inch wrist, I can only just engage the end of the strap in the first keeper. It would need to be half an inch longer to an inch longer in order for me to engage the end of the strap in the 2 keepers, the first fixed keeper and the second sliding keeper. But however, I'm not going to be critical of it because for the majority of collectors with a 7 to 7.5 inch wrist, this leather strap will suffice. There is enough length on it, there are 2 extra holes in it, and of course plenty of holes if you have a 6 to 7 inch wrist. So the deployant calf leather strap will fit you if you have a 7 to maximum 7.5 inch. Even on my large 8-inch wrist, I can get the strap engaged to the first keeper. Now, in terms of comfort level, this is sublime. Very well balanced piece. They've made the correct decision by using a 22mm rather than 20mm lug width because there's a nice slight taper on the calf leather strap. Proportions are outstanding. 41.5 does give a lot of wrist presence. Now that's something to bear in mind. If you're a collector with a smaller wrist of 6 to 7 inches, you may find that 41.5 gives too much wrist presence. It is a large piece and it does dominate the wrist. But I like the wrist presence. If you're a collector with a larger wrist of 7 to 8 inches, you will enjoy the wrist presence on wrist. The thing to note about it is only 13.1mm. Now, the benefit of the low profile screw down case back and the low profile double dome sapphire crystal is that it is only 13.1. Now, I often refer to the sweet spot in my reviews as 13mm. That will easily slip underneath the shirt cuff if you wear business shirts. So at 13.1, it's just a fraction above the 13mm sweet spot, therefore a practical daily wear piece. The thing I most like about it is the lack of heft. This is only 101 grams. Now, again, I often refer to 150 grams to be the sweet spot for bracelet pieces. Of course, leather strap pieces are significantly lighter than bracelet pieces. 41.5 is a heavy head of the piece. The leather strap, of course, is light and the deployant clasp is light, but 101 grams is very lightweight. Bearing in mind, this isn't a quartz-powered or manual wind piece. This is an automatic piece powered by the STP 1-11 automatic. So 13.1 is good thickness and 101 grams is good. 50 grams of water resistance is acceptable. Aesthetically, this is a great looking piece because I love the brush satin finish it's actually got a matte bead blasted finish to the bezel. It's got a curved convex profile to the bezel and it's also drilled with dimples all the way round. So it gives it a real beautiful aesthetic. Now, the lugs look like wire lugs, but they actually have spring bars inside rather than being wire lugs, and they're screwed into the case. But I love the way the gold collars catch the light and also the gold flathead screws on the plaque on the left-hand flank. My favourite aspect really is the guilloche dial. It's white, but it has a metallic sheen to it, which almost looks silver. And I love the way the guilloche finishing catches the light. And also, the chapter ring has a 3D effect to it. And when you look at the piece at an oblique angle, there is no distortion. The AR coating works very well. And I like how thin the double dome sapphire crystal is because you don't get a magnification effect or a distortion effect as per a single dome crystal or a thick crystal, which is 2mm thick. This is very thin. And you can see it's curved on the underside and curved on the top side, so you don't get any distortion at an oblique angle. There is a slight lip or bevel which projects above the bezel. The edge of the sapphire crystal catches the light and it's just absolutely gorgeous. The guilloche finishing is just beautiful. It really does look like a high tier piece costing in excess of €10,000. That is the level of finishing. The gold handset is just absolutely gorgeous. It's partially skeletonized, and the detail of the finishing to the handset is just incredible. So good looking piece, very aesthetically pleasing, and I like the matte bead blasted effect to the bezel, which contrasts with the brushed satin finishing to the head of the piece. The point works well, opens very easily, nice firm resistance to the two triggers. Calf leather strap is comfortable, so comfort level, feel good factor are both exceptional. Now let's test the push-pull crown execution. So as I've detailed, the crown is made from steel and also gold, which is very unusual. So you can see the exterior of it has a gear tooth profile to it, which is black PVD coated in steel. The centre section of it is mirror polished steel, and then the actual centre of it is solid gold. Exceptional crown finishing, proportion is good. You can get good purchase with your index finger and thumb on the gear tooth profile to it, and the black PVD coating is very aesthetically pleasing. Proportion is good. It does project from the right hand flank of the case, but I like it because you can get a good grip of it, good purchase on it. It feels very grippy and tactile, but doesn't feel sharp. The teeth of the gear tooth bezel have been deburred very well with a nice chamfer, and the quality of the black PVD coating is 10 out of 10 as one would expect. Now, as it's a push-pull crown, when it's closed, you can manually wind it. So this is powered by the STP caliber 1-11, which is made in Switzerland, and it feels very similar to an ETA 2824-2, which it is a clone of. The architecture of the STP 1-11 is the same as the Sellita SW200-1, which is also a clone of the ETA 2824-2. The only discernible difference is that this has 26 joules versus the ETA 2824-2, which has 25. But in terms of manual winding, you can feel the tension in the mainspring gradually building up to its maximum 44-hour power reserve. Feels exactly the same. There's no discernible difference between the STP caliber 1-11, the ETA 2824-2, and the SW200-1. They all feel the same to manually wind. So nice firm resistance to it. You can feel the tension gradually building up. It feels nice and smooth to manually wind. Pulling it out to the first click position hacks the movements. Pulling it out to the second click position. As this is a clone of the ETA 2824-2, like the SW200-1, it does have a date complication. As you can see, it's 6 o'clock. So we have a quick set complication, and in the first click position, when I rotate the crown clockwise, it advances the date complication at 6. Nice positive indexing. You can see the day of the month click over with a nice light click. So it feels very similar to the ETA 2824-2, which it is a clone of, and it feels very similar to the SW200-1. Same feeling to the quick set complication. So second click position is the time setting position. Just bear with me, I'm going to move the date over to the next day. So it's possible to hack the movement. If you look at the second hand, you can see I've now hacked it, so one can set the time precisely to the second. We're now in the time setting position. Nice light resistance to the gearing. So it feels exactly the same as an ETA 2824-2 or a Sellita SW200-1. Light resistance. Now, there is some backplay, and it's a characteristic of all three movements. This STP 1-11, the ETA 2824-2, and the SW200-1. They all have slight backplay. So when I rotate the crown clockwise and anti-clockwise, you can see there is some backplay in the gearing. The minute hand doesn't immediately move. It doesn't immediately respond. So you have to get used to taking up the slight backplay in the gearing, but that is a characteristic of those three aforementioned movements. So it does take some getting used to, but it is acceptable because it does feel nice and tight. Minimal friction to the gearing. It has 26 joules, and I like it. It feels like a nice solid movement. It feels smooth through the 12 hours, both clockwise and anti-clockwise, and I really like the smoothness of it. It feels like a nice, robust, well-proven workhorse Swiss caliber. Pushing it back in, it's got a nice positive click, and that reinstates the 50 meters of hermetic seal. There are two rubber O-rings, one rubber O-ring inside the push-pull stainless steel crown, and a second rubber O-ring inside the stainless steel crown tube. 50 meters is perfectly acceptable, and a push-pull crown is perfectly acceptable on a daily wear piece. One doesn't need a screw-down crown. It's actually beneficial because when it's closed, you can manually wind it. You don't need to unscrew it and pull it out in order to manually wind. So it's good it has hacking. Push-pull crown is very smooth. Feels good to manually wind, feels good to set the quick set date, feels good to set the time. So very good and robust. Right, so there's no loom on the dial and handset, so therefore I don't need to do a loom test. So let's discuss the movement used, because it's one of my favourite aspects of the piece. So as I've detailed, this uses the STP caliber 1-11. STP stands for Swiss Technology Production. So the STP 1-11 is a clone of the ETA 2824-2. It has the same architecture as the Sellita SW200-1. So it has 26 joules, like the SW200-1, versus the ETA 2824-2, which has 25 joules respectively. It's been in production since 2012, so at this stage in 2025, it is a reliable, well-proven caliber. It has 26 joules and it runs at 28,800 vibrations per hour and a frequency of 4 Hz. Now, the benefit of it having a 4 Hz frequency is the second hand has a nice smooth 4 Hz sweep, and that's a characteristic of movements running at 28,800 vibrations per hour. I like 4 Hz sweeps. I dislike 21,600 vibrations per hour and a frequency of 3 Hz because 3 Hz movements have a stutter or judder to the second hand, but if you look closely at the stainless steel second hand, you can see it's got that nice smooth 4 Hz sweep. So nice balance to the power reserve and also accuracy with 28,800 vibrations per hour. 4 Hz is the sweet spot, the perfect balance between accuracy and power reserve respectively. It has hand winding and hacking, which is useful, and also quick set date complication, which works very well. Now, the stated accuracy of the STP caliber 1-11 is -0 to +15 seconds per day. It's regulated in 5 positions. Now, to put that into perspective, regulated in 5 positions to -0 to +15 seconds per day is equal to the ETA 2824-2 top grade or chronometer grade. So excellent. The STP caliber 1-11 is regulated to chronometer grade accuracy or top grade of the ETA 2824-2. This one is running consistently at +4 seconds per day. +4 is well within the -0 to +15 stated accuracy. +4 is actually within chronometer grade of -4 to +6 seconds per day. So Timeless deserve full credit because this is a very well regulated STP caliber 1-11 and +4 is chronometer grade. So 5 positions of regulation is outstanding. No negatives to the STP caliber 1-11 whatsoever. 44 hours is good power reserve. +4 is very good accuracy, hand winding is good, hacking is good, and the quick set date complication is good. So build quality, quality control, materials, everything about it is a good movement. To put it into perspective, I regard the STP caliber 1-11 as being equal quality to the ETA 2824-2 and also equal quality to the Sellita SW200-1. So really it's exactly equal in terms of accuracy, build quality, quality control, and most importantly, reliability. So very good choice. So lastly, I'll summarise the piece. What do I think of it overall? Well, when I'm considering reviewing a watch on my channel, the watch meet 2 criteria. It should be both excellent quality and excellent value at the respective price point. So mid-tier piece, Swiss made, €1,536 or 1,450 Swiss francs is the price point. This is limited edition, one of only 40 pieces ever made, individually numbered, and it's got a Swiss caliber, the STP 1-11. So quality Swiss made piece, which is handmade, with a quality Swiss made movement. I'm going to declare it excellent quality, and I'm going to declare it good value, but I'm not going to say excellent value. So why do I say it's not excellent value? Because it does have some attributes. It's got gold parts, guilloche dial, high tier level finishing, and a Swiss movement. Well, in order for this to be excellent value at €1,536, I would like to see a higher grade of movement than the STP caliber 1-11. It's equal quality to the ETA 2824-2 and the SW200-1 as I've detailed, but I think at this price point Timeless could do better and use a higher grade of movement. The STP 1-11 is acceptable, it is okay at this price point, but really to be excellent value it needs a higher grade of movement, although this is regulated in 5 positions, which is equal to top grade ETA 2824-2 level, and of course it is chronometer grade accurate at +4. But I just would like to see a high grade of movement because what we're looking at is a high quality Swiss made piece, but it just needs a higher grade of Swiss movement in order to match the quality of the guilloche dial, the gold parts, and the high tier level of finishing to it throughout. No negatives to it whatsoever. It is incredibly well finished, and the guilloche dial is €10,000 high tier level finishing to it. They deserve full credit for using gold hands, gold collars on the lugs, gold centre to the crown, and gold screws in the plaque. So very high specification. So I hope you've enjoyed my review of the timeless HMS003. Please feel free to post your own comments below the video. Thank you for watching.